Calderon.
Here.
Mr. DeCosta.
Here.
Ms. Coffinger.
Here.
Mr. Lombardi. Mr. Luna.
Here.
Ms. Ryan.
Here.
Vice President Dunn. President Gomez.
Here. Pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Board statements. In accordance with the provisions of the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law, the New Milford Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting to be published by having the date, time, and place thereof posted in the Borough Hall and at the New Milford Public Library. Notices have been sent out in the Record and the Twin Borough News. The board announces that under a long-standing policy, it will not discuss in public any comments made by members of the public concerning individual staff members. At this time, please be advised that all cell phones and electronic devices are to be turned off. Members of the board are open to the public, and all members of the community should feel free to participate. Before coming to the board, the chain of command should be followed. There are two portions of the meeting reserved for comments from the public. The first at the beginning of the meeting for agenda items only, and the second at the end of the meeting for other items. Issues raised by the public may or may not be responded to by the board, but all comments will be considered. The board requests that all members of the public be mindful of the rights of other individuals when speaking. Due to confidentiality and legal rights afforded by the state of New Jersey, members of the public are asked not to speak negatively or in a derogatory manner about any employee of the board or any student. So board action. I seek a motion for BA 22-23.102. Picked by Stephanie Coffinger. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, personnel recommendations. Having the recommendation of the superintendent, I seek a motion for P 22-23.156. Seconded by Paige Ryan. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Roll call.
Ms. Calderon.
Yes.
Mr. DeCosta.
Yes.
Ms. Coffinger.
Yes.
Mr. Luna.
Yes.
Ms. Ryan.
Yes.
President Gomez.
Yes. Finance and facilities committee, Paige Ryan.
I motion for approval for F 22-23.246.
Second. Joe Luna, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Open to the public. As outlined in the Milford Board of Education Bylaw 0167, each statement made by a participant shall be limited to 3 minutes. Seek a motion. Paige Ryan, seconded by John DeCosta. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Anyone in the public?
They told me no. I was just told no.
No? Okay, you sure? Okay, I seek a motion to close. Cheryl Calderon, seconded by Joe Luna. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay. No, what's your next thing? What's your next?
No, we're gonna go on the close, so we're gonna make it.
Oh, okay, so before you go into close, can I give a brief statement?
Yes.
It's only the length of a CVS receipt, so really, oh gosh. Okay.
To us.
Okay, so, all right, as the chair of the negotiations committee and on behalf of the committee, I want to take the opportunity to thank the incredible people who had a part in getting this contract negotiated, finalized, and ratified. When we started this process, none of us knew what to expect, and there didn't seem to be a whole lot we agreed on. But one thing we agreed on, from the get-go, was that both sides were willing to think outside the box and take unconventional methods to address some of our district's problems. Because, of course, unique problems sometimes require unique solutions. And then in the middle of it all, budget cuts hit, which really further complicated the issues and unfortunately led to tough personnel decisions. A lesser group probably could have quit, maybe even went to mediation, but not this one. Everyone stayed the course, understanding that though we may have had some differences of opinion, we all agreed on a common goal of making this the best district possible for the students. So first and foremost, we want to acknowledge the work and leadership of our superintendent, Danielle Shanley, who despite not being quote unquote in the room, without her valuable input, foresight, and guidance, we would not have been able to address the true needs of the district. Bottom line is there was not a decision or a compromise or agreement that we made without her direction and approval and sometimes blessing. I want to thank the negotiations committee members, Anthony Albro, for a brief time, Stephanie Coffinger, President Heather Gomez, and former Chair Paige Ryan. Each of them put in countless hours to help get this agreement done, this baseball games, wrestling matches, and worse, had to put up with my endless color-coded notes. I especially want to thank Paige, whose guidance was invaluable to a rookie like me, and whenever I felt like I was fumbling through the process, she helped to steady me. Most importantly for our side, we want to recognize Stephanie Kuchar, Business Administrator Extraordinaire. Stephanie was just instrumental in getting this done. She's not the best note taker, but she has a complete and masterful understanding of the needs of our district and what it costs, and is also one of the most patient people I've ever met in dealing with my constant requests for homework. Without her, we'd be lost, and she's an absolute asset to this district. I also want to recognize the association for their hard work, honesty, trust, understanding, and receptiveness through this process. We want to especially recognize the people in the room: Scott Volk, Rebecca Arbach, Mary Sullivan, Lisa Horrigan, outgoing President Nick Reese, incoming President, and congratulations, Linda Esman, and of course Dave Wilson for the time that they put into the process, their dedication to the needs of their association. I think there was a time, honestly, where we all saw each other more than our families, but the honest discussions we had in that room undoubtedly paved the way for this agreement, and I hope for those to come. Of course, we want to acknowledge those that weren't in the room but played a big part in the discussions: Brian Gear, Chris Adeo, Dana Firo, Erin Bacco. Though we've only had one infamous night all together, we know how much you all put into the process and the valuable opinions and input that helped shape our negotiations. In the room or not, you are all assets to the district, and the district is in good hands with all of you. Finally, I would be remiss if I didn't give a special shout out to Dave Wilson. Some of you may know that Mr. Wilson and I go way back. He was my basketball coach when I went here. I think both of us would prefer I didn't say exactly how long that was. But he's exactly the teacher that I think about when I think of how teachers make an impact in a student's life like he did mine. But as important as he is to his students, he's equally important to the NMEA because of the way he advocates for his association with a balanced, compassionate, and practical approach. Negotiations often involve and sometimes conflicting and different goals and priorities from both sides. This case was no exception. However, what united us and made this agreement possible was our shared commitment to providing the best possible education for our students and our vision for the continued growth and development of our district. The negotiations process was far from easy, with late nights and moments that made us wonder if a deal could be reached. Yet through it all, everyone approached these negotiations with professionalism, respect, and good faith. We agreed from the beginning that everything was on the table, allowing for innovative and unconventional thinking, and we stayed true to our word, despite the obstacles thrown our way. This agreement is a testament to both sides' unwavering dedication to our students and the district. We hope that it demonstrates the value we place on our teachers, while also addressing long-term goals and reining in budgetary variables that contributed to some of our current fiscal challenges. It represents a significant steps away from the status quo and attempts to address long-standing issues. While this contract does not resolve our budgetary woes, nor should it, it positions us better for the future. Most importantly, it ensures that we can maintain the quality education our students deserve and are accustomed to. So, long story short, a million thank yous really to everybody that was in that room, outside the room, and to everyone in the building. And
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I just say one thing? Thank you to Cheryl too, because this was the first time that you had participated in this, and it was different than what you're used to doing in your job, and just being able to be flexible with that too, and Stephanie is, working together. I think that between Danielle and Stephanie and yourself, as well as the NMEA and all of the different conversations and the back and forth that was had, just thank you for taking that on and for everything that you did to make sure. And thank you to everyone in the NMEA as well.
Yes.
That's what I said. Thank you to Cheryl.
Okay, before we go to close, does any board member have any requests for additional information? Okay. We're going into a closed session. It is hereby moved that the Board of Education adjourn into executive session in accordance with the provisions of Section 8 of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231 PL, for the purpose of discussion and consideration of matters pertaining to the following subject: personnel, superintendent evaluation. The minutes of the executive session were made available to the public, and the need for confidentiality no longer exists. come back when you're not taking